Right, in New Zealand, covering off on the Weanling sales this Thursday, 2:30 for NZB, and Ken Breckon and the crew. I'm going out there as well a bit later on, but love calling into Cambridge Raceway and catch up with David Branch. Firstly, David, welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Great to see you.
Brought the rain again with me by the looks of it, or by all accounts, you guys are the rainmakers. Is that how it works?
Yeah, I think since we broke the drought, Night of Champions, every race meeting since, we've pretty much had rain, so we have an ability to do that here. Yeah.
Got a few things I want to touch base on you, but let's go back to Night of Champions. It was an amazing, horrible, unbelievable, weird, well done to the club night. And I think it had all of those in it because there was some doubt. I know Pat Driscoll rang me and said, will they be on? And I said, well, I'm told they'll be on. There's no worries there at all. And I think at the end of the night, you guys must have been wrapped, the whole group. There's so many people just there behind us in the office. It must have been so wrapped with what you were able to achieve. Oh, such a dreadful night.
Yeah, I guess the positives we took were that it was warm. So while it was raining, it wasn't a miserable night as such. But yeah, couldn't have been more proud of the team and what we pulled off. You know, the weather's the one thing that you can't control, and you know, doesn't matter how many times you refresh those weather apps that we're all doing from the start of the week. Getting in, well, I think it was an atmospheric river we got that night, and to see the track play how it did, to see, you know, the crowd still turn up. So, you know, the way we structured it, that people had bought tickets, they were invested, so they sort of had to come. And everyone still had a great night. So, yeah, we couldn't be more happy with how it came off, and surely next year we'd do a fine night because the last two have had a bit of, haven't been great. Yeah,
I did an actual Weanling sale promo for some of the graduates, and of course your inaugural winner, copy that. That night was beautiful, it was brilliant, I was here, it was just a lovely night. You haven't been able to achieve that the next two times.
I think that one we might have had, that was the second running, so South Assured.
Oh, sorry,
first.
Yeah.
Copy that, and then yeah, the year before, the last 2 years we've had bad average weather, I think, but it cleared the time before.
Yeah,
this time it didn't. Yeah,
but it was such a great night. The horses come from everywhere. That part, it's growing in stature. Your race, it's continuing to grow. It's on everyone's radar already, so that's got to be exciting for you guys here at the club.
Yeah, definitely, and it's great, you know, seeing those horses step out again, and they're talking about, you know, their races at Cambridge, so we had obviously Leap to Fame and RC Phoenix stepping out in that, so yeah, we've really cemented it as something on the calendar, and now it's just how do we keep raising the bar and going, making it bigger and better.
The Inter-Dominion's on in Queensland very shortly, and you know, you guys were able to secure not only RC Phoenix and Leap to Fame, but you also had Don Hugo's here, Pin Seeker. These horses are all going to the Inter-Dominion. You know, the biggest race, whether it is or not, who cares, but the biggest race in Australia. The Kiwis are going there, but the horses that come across here, that's the calibre of horses you get. You're not getting the next level down or anything like that. You guys are getting the cream of the crop and being able to continually grow it. So I think, yeah, that in itself is awesome for us.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think everyone knows that harness racing's at its best when there's international competition, right? When we get to take on the Aussies or have them over here. So being able to be the catalyst for them coming here, and you know, some of them staying on, like Just Believe did the time before, and while it doesn't always work out like that because of differing preps and that, yeah, I mean, the more of that, the more into country rivalry we can get, the better.
Last year they had the party at Breckon's, and knowing Ken and Karen, I would imagine that's something that they want to continue, and it had a great vibe. I was a bit late getting to the party, if you like, but it had such a great vibe about it.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that's great for our community as well, as having people come and stay for that week or a few days, and then being able to show off. So yeah, obviously Ken and Karen's place for the cocktail party the night before. We had the barrier draw function here live on trackside. That was fantastic. And yeah, so for us it's about how we build up that first night as well when we have the Flying Miles, and create a bit of a carnival there as well.
What have you got planned? Probably can't sneak too much out, but like you've got some nice juvenile racing, and that is something you want to maybe bring up, maybe a 3-year-old trot. I don't know. We haven't actually discussed that, but have you got things in the pipeworks you're trying to grow? Yeah, so
Harness Racing New Zealand announced their feature race calendar last week, and there's a 3-year-old size stakes $50,000 prelude, so to the championship. So that's gone on that night, and yeah, for us it's about trying to find that balance between find that balance between an event with, in my mind 8 races is ideal, but then balancing that with the realities of turnover and what we need as an industry. So Yeah, we'll keep working on that, and I don't have any fixed view, but certainly how we can boost the night before as well. So the Flying Mile night, those lead-ins, and get more Aussies over for that and have them stay for both nights is only going to add to it.
I know some people at HRNZ do listen to me from time to time. Don't go too many races.
Yeah.
The year, I think, copy that was 7 races, was that correct? And he was the last?
I think 8, and then we had that as the last race and straight into the party after, and we couldn't do that this year with the timings, unfortunately, but...
Being an Aussie and having race meetings where there's 10s and 12s, people are tired and they just want to go home. The crowds don't enjoy it. They want to go home as well. And that short, zappy, sharp, that's what society's about now. And being able to spill out onto the track straight after and have the thing there, I think it's amazing. So, it is a great event. It's very unique and it's only growing in stature. So I think well done to you guys.
They're going to think that we preset that conversation up because that's singing from the same song sheet as I've been saying, but and my whole team, from an event point of view, everything's getting shorter, sharper. You look at the Karaka Million, for example, 6 races, and they stick to that. And I think that when you start getting to 10s, 11s, 12s, the general public just can't stay engaged that long and don't want to. So
when that wasn't pre-think, I will say the one thing that was said. David said to me, he said, "I haven't got much to say." I said, "I've got a fair bit, so it'll be fine." But and I'm not having a crack at anyone. I'm just saying it works, and it's a good night to go, and you don't go home tired, and you actually want to stay for the party. A few people definitely want to stay for the party. How is the club going other than that? Like tomorrow night I see a bit of a challenge, 5, but I think that was a late change. It was going to be a Thursday night meeting, and then realising the Weanling sales were on and a late finish, so it was a late change. Yeah,
so we were all Tuesdays, and then that got changed recently to all Thursdays, which is great. It makes a massive difference. It means we can open upstairs up and turn the restaurant, have that going upstairs. But this one was just a bit of an oversight when we moved everything to Thursdays, that the Weanling sales were on the same day. So that's why it's stuck back to Tuesday. But we have, North Island, there's a challenge around horse numbers and that's always something that needs to be looked at between us and Auckland. But I think the horses have sort of sorted themselves into 2 pools, and we're getting regular Thursday and Friday night race meetings. And
does it become a challenge in winter? I mean, it's quite mild here for me, but does it become a challenge in horse numbers? Is it going to be an issue for the next month or so? Yeah,
potentially. I mean, it's great, I think, as an industry that we now have regular, consistent racing. Every week there's $15,000 minimum races at Auckland, and we've got 8,000 minimums here. So it's just, if we had an extra 20 or 30 horses, I think both clubs would really appreciate that. But it's how you hold on to them and keep everyone engaged at this. And sometimes it's not that nicer weather, and our stables aren't the best on any bad night. So it's dealing with those sort of things as well. But it is super handy for the locals. I think 5 races tomorrow night, short, sharp, and then everyone's home in a couple of hours. So, and it still caters for the betting public.
Yep. Like the guy in the pub in the TAB, they're not going to know any different. They're just going to walk in and say, "Oh, Cambridge Race 2, bang," and go from there. They punt on that. So just as long as all the people are getting the race, that's half what we want as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that consistency, obviously not this week, but knowing every Thursday that Cambridge is racing, basically for the next 6 months, has to be good for turnover and consistency for punters.
You mentioned your stabling just there before. How's that tracking?
Yeah, we've completed the first part, which was the demo. Now we're just sort of finalising what that looks like now to get, but certainly a priority to get a big covered structure, because I know even when I used to drive and race 15 years ago, there's not many more miserable places than down there on a wet night, and now we're racing all through winter, obviously every week. It's not ideal, so certainly something that's high on our radar.
I will say too, from my point of view, like once upon a time I did drive, and I would hate going back to that when it's still raining, because you wouldn't be able to get out of it, but also just with the cameras and getting around, it's awkward, and especially on those big nights when owners are there. It's that's probably one of your biggest challenges right at the minute, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, and we're that's always been a critical part of our master plan that we've been trying to work on, but everything comes down to dollars and cents.
Yeah.
Certainly racing every week now and having the Night of Champions is both catalysts for needing to do something pretty quick.
Noticed the other day, Entane Awards, you've been nominated. That must have been a great little thrill.
Yeah, very exciting. So they're on Sunday up at Ellerslie this week. So yeah, massive thrill, and really looking forward to it. The whole crew going down? Yeah, they're all coming. So
Ellerslie will be very happy, so they're going to have a big party no matter what.
Big support crew, yeah, for sure. So it's Sunday night, so we might be a little bit late on Monday morning, but
take the day off, not racing on Thursday.
Yeah, well, it'll be great, and awesome for Entain to recognise, a lot of young people that are passionate about the industry, and it'll be a fantastic night, I'm sure.
Just one other one, back to the Night of Champions. How big a thrill was it for you, having a winner on that night? I didn't catch you afterwards intentionally. One, you had a fair bit going on, but the emotions were running pretty bloody high straight after it. Is that as good a thrill as you've had?
Yeah, for sure. Pretty unexpected, but to win that race on that night was real special, and he's become got a bit of a cult following.
He's
now,
going
Romeo.
good ever since too, isn't he?
So he's actually racing this Friday night, so he's had a bit of a spell since then and coming back. So, but yeah, he's just a happy horse, and to do that with Mum and have everyone here on that massive night was huge. Yeah.
One of the great stories in the interview too about how wet it was. And someone said, "Oh, did you expect to lead?" I think Brittany asked Tony if you expected to lead, and he says, "What's wet? Where else would you see me?" And and he spoke very glowingly of him afterwards too. But I would just imagine, as a person so passionate about this club, and that must have been a great thrill for you.
Yeah. To that night didn't exist 4 years ago, and to have built that from scratch with the team here and then have that excitement on the night was just really the cherry on the top, to be honest. It was great.
Dave, thank you. Appreciate it. As I said, I've been out, depending on when it falls. Actually, I think I'm a chance, because I think there's a bit of jinking and janking, so might be a chance of getting back here next year for the Night of Champions. Hopefully even get back here a couple of race nights. Can't be here tomorrow night, unfortunately, with some commitments for the Weanling sales, but get back a couple of times and go from there. But thank you, and we'll probably catch up remotely anyway. But when is the Night of Champions next year?
Put me on the spot. It's I think the date is the 10th of April.
Yep.
Easter's moved the week before, so the Flying Mile's on the Thursday before Easter.
Yep.
And then it's Easter Monday, and then it's on the Friday that week.
Is that the Friday of that week? So so some chance I could be here with a bit of luck. So I'm covering it, but well done to you guys. And as I said, you stand up here and do the interviews with me all the time, but there's about 6 or 7 of them in there that work so hard and so passionate about the club as well, and that's what I love about this place. It's that passion. We need more of it in our industry. So thank you very much, mate, and good luck on Sunday. Hopefully you get the chockies. It'll be a nice result as well for you and for Ellerslie.
Yeah, it'll be a big night regardless, I think. So
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.